Command & Conquer Rivals replay request, everyone. This will finish off the playlist here today, as we've seen a good few different amount of strats out there. terRror taking on Betterway. It's still this new deck of his, although terRror definitely did not need to get into the late game. Winning the first 2 missiles in the last round worked out. Betterway definitely doesn't look nearly as late game oriented here. He does have the rifles with a strong arm, believe it or not. But rifles with the lasers, rockets, missiles, whatever. The shocks. No Predator tank on this one. It's the Pitbull. So the Pitbull with the missiles are going to have to hold down the shop until at least you can get into that tech factory so you can get either the Sandstorms or the Zone Troopers. This means that the only anti-infantry solution that Betterway has is shocks. Not that that's really a big deal up against the terRror deck, because there are 3 infantry with those Zone Troopers, but yeah, this is definitely a very heavy anti-vehicle kind of deck here from Betterway. But, you know, if you can't get into the temple, the War Factory, then it doesn't matter, right? It just doesn't matter. So GDI versus GDI to stop things here, or finish things off here for this week in the meta.
Battlefield control.
3, 2, 1. New objective received.
Betterway will start things off here on the left-hand side. Goes straight barracks into the rifles. Now, the dogs, in theory, will actually do better than those rifles, but they are both still serving the same purpose. They are out scouting. They're trying to make sure and see what their opponents are doing so that they can react appropriately. So second set of dogs will chase off those rifles. We do have some missiles out here from Betterway, but until he gets into the pit bulls, it's really just missile spam. Now the missiles are actually going to go for the harvester here from terRror. It's not going to be a big deal. I don't really understand why we have a turret out, or at least a turret right there. That seems like a bit of a waste here from Betterway. He is microing his units in the bottom right there. Those missile squads are actually doing very well. A little bit of extra shot damage to come out from that turret, so it's not all the worst, I suppose, by the end of it. But we're going to have to block the pads here in the bottom middle. Doesn't happen. terRror actually kind of drops the ball a bit on that one. Will murder the unit that cost him a nuke. But terRror is actually now looking in a pretty bad situation because we have a better late game from Betterway. We just absolutely have a better late game from Betterway. So another turret to go up here from Lieutenant Strongarm. It's not going to get much done. Betterway has now gone into the second harvester for the double, which is really the best timing you can do. If it doesn't matter if you win that first missile or not. If you are going to go into a double harv, right around the missile launch is the best time to do it. Shocks are cleaning up some of these units. We're kind of just stuck contesting shocks at this point here from Betterway, which is preventing him from really going into too much else. Now, the turret is getting a lot of work done. There we go, finally a tech lab to go through. But he's definitely feeling the pressure from these shocks, from these dogs. The pad is not charging right now, but it has charged a pretty significant amount. So if Betterway wants to make an overture at this, these fast, cheap, and tanky units from terRror will actually win him out of missile. Those zones are not going to do great against those shocks at all. So those zones need to go to the top left. I'm pausing this. Those zones from Betterway needed to... Okay, where's blue? About here? Nope. Here. These zones, instead of coming this way, needed to swap positions here. Zones needed to go there to finish off what I think are the War Dogs. And these shocks needed to swing down this way to start working on those shocks because they're not so healthy, right? Instead of clearing this top pad here, you're basically just trying to buy time, right? Because this wasn't going to work for too much longer from Betterway here anyways. Instead of clearing the top left pad and trying to contest the bottom middle pad, he just loses all the pads. So it's just, it just feels bad. Just feels bad. There could have been a better way. So he's going to take the nuke, which means we're into a third nuke territory, and we have our own zones to come out here from terRror. This is now a 1 Harvester, which is actually dead, by the way.
Defense
The 1 Harvester tech building situation here for terRror. So, he is covering both bases with the zones, and he also has those Wolverines now coming out. So as the dust does settle, terRror is actually okay for Tiberium without this this Harvester for now, but he needs to take control very quickly. Otherwise, the 1 remaining Harvester here for Betterway, if this does prolong, will actually win out. The only advantage terRror has here is that he has an extra unit slot, but again, if he can't take control with it, it will lose out the race. That being said, it does look like he's in a really good position to take control of this. The Wolverines clean through these zones. More Wolverines now to block, and the Shocks cannot get through their own zones in the bottom middle. So, bit of a tech battle to end things off here. And again, terRror not replenishing that Harvester meant that he had to take control, and he did that, and he delivers here in this week. So, kind of curious to see what the meta will look like next week, but definitely a lot of changes changing people's minds this one.